Mr. Gore, if I could begin with you. And I think Senator Shaheen raised this issue. I just want to make sure we get it on the record. I co-chair the Bipartisan Foreign Service Caucus here in the Senate, along with Senator Sullivan. And one of our goals has been to make sure that we have a foreign service that upholds the highest ideals of our country, that recognizes that they have to follow the policies of the president, but also recognizes their duty to the Constitution. You agree that those are all important considerations for foreign service officers, right?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Not only do I agree, I think it's vitally important that we rely on some of those experts that we have there. The State Department has incredible talent that has been built over many decades. And when we're able to combine that with the president's vision, I think we can have incredible success around the world.
I appreciate that. Obviously, if you're nominated to be or confirmed as ambassador to India, it's going to be very important that all those employees, foreign service officers and others be treated, I think, with the respect that they deserve. And I'm only raising this issue because there have been a number of reports about how in your current position you've applied essentially Trump loyalty tests, not just to political appointees, but to some of the career folks at the National Security Council. Is that true? Have you insisted on loyalty to the president as part of that screening process?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I got to.
Two points, Senator, on that. Thank you for the question. First of all, I do not hire the National Security Council. That is outside of my purview. Most of the jobs within the White House do not fall under my portfolio. So I have not hired, I've not fired anyone within the National Security Council. On your second point of the individuals that we do hire across the federal government and across the different agencies, the president was elected by 78 million people. He was given a mandate by the American people for a certain agenda. And so we do hire individuals that agree with that agenda. If you're a butcher, you're not applying to go work at PETA. And we believe we want to hire the best qualified individuals, but also individuals that frankly do agree with the president's agenda and are able to implement that.
I got it. I understand. And of course, you've got a lot of federal employees already working on behalf of the United States, and they understand that their responsibility is to implement the president's agenda, but they also recognize a duty to respect the rule of law and the Constitution. In any event, I understood your answer to Senator Shaheen. And I think it's going to be very important that you signal very early on.
100%. If I can add one last thing to that, the president has sent several nominees for ambassadorship that are career, including the gentleman to my left. And just last week, we've nominated 400 promotions within the State Department to different levels of counselor and officer. So we fully intend to continue doing that.
Thank you. So, Mr. Veprek, let me ask you, and I know you've had some questions about the situation with South Africa, because early on the president issued an executive order essentially saying he was going to penalize South Africa because of what he has described as genocide against Afrikaners, against white South Africans. I don't know what extent you've been involved in those decisions, but I do have a very simple question. Do you agree with what I think is an outrageous claim that the government of South Africa is engaged in genocide against the Afrikaners?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. With regard to the president's executive order and his comments in it that made it possible for certain ethnic minority groups in South Africa.
My question, sir, was very specific. Do you agree that the government of South Africa is engaged in genocide against the Afrikaners? Do you believe that?
I would refer to the president's executive order, including the reasons that he gave in there for deciding to privilege certain...
I'm going to stop you there. The notion that South Africa is committing genocide against Afrikaners is sort of laughable on its face from a legal perspective. Let me just ask my last question of you, Mr. Holtzsnyder, and thank you for your service. I just happened to be on a trip a couple weeks ago that included a stop in Jordan. One of the clear messages we got from the government of Jordan was how they had worked very hard to open what's called the Jordan Corridor to provide humanitarian assistance into Gaza to help people who are starving in Gaza, and that there were all sorts of obstructions that have been put in their place by the Netanyahu government. Senator Merkley and I released a report today. I urge you to take a look at it, and I just ask that you work with us to address those issues should you be confirmed. Do I have that commitment?
Senator, thank you so much for the question. If confirmed, I absolutely commit to work with this committee to do what we can to get the assistance flowing.
Thank you.
Thank you.